From Anshei Sphard-Beth Emeth congregation, it's time to take 10 minutes for Torah with Rabbi Joel Finkelstein.
Welcome to our discussion of Parshat Yitro, Modern Orthodox Manifesto. If we look in the Parsha of Yitro, we see great fanfare made about the notion that Yitro is coming to town. Wow, Yitro is coming to town, we have to do something. And never in biblical history, as Necham Levitch points out, has anyone been greeted with such fanfare like Yitro was greeted when he came to greet Moshe in the desert. It says, Moshe likrat choto, he went out to greet Yitro. Moshe went to greet him. Vayishtachu, vayishak lo, he bowed down to him, as often people did in those days, as an act of honor. Vayishak lo, he kissed him. Vayishalu yisraelu shalom, they asked each other, how you doing? How's it going? They went to the tent. And he told him everything that's going on. Then it says, Aaron, and of course Moses obviously as well, and all the elders of Israel, to eat with the father-in-law of Moshe before God. Wow! They're having this meal together. All the elders, that Rashi says it was a kavod, God, it was a great honor they gave to this person. Why? Why is it even recorded? Who cares that Moshe's father-in-law came there, and why do we need to know how beautifully Moshe greeted this man? The Ibn Ezra says that it was due to the great respect that he afforded him as a great chacham. That indeed, Yitro is a great chacham. That's why Vayoel Moshe l'shev ish, Moshe agreed to stay with that man in the desert. Why? Because he must have been a great chacham. The Tzroar Hamor of Avraham Saban says that in fact Moshe must have been as great Yitro must have been as great a chacham as Moshe. That's why he was willing to stay with him. The Netziv says that it was his, not so much his wisdom, it's not a matter of intellect, it's a matter of his great piety. Here's a man coming to embrace God, Gadol Hashem Mikol Elokim, that God is greater than any other God. And surely he should receive great honor for his embrace of God. Maybe we can even encourage him a little more in embracing God and Judaism and Torah even further. Actually, the Tzroar Hamor says that it was important to listen to this man with all his advice about the administrative matters, because maybe he had some kind of a Ruach HaKodesh. Surely he must have been a divine inspiration that gave him all these wonderful ideas and advice for his son-in-law. So those are several possibilities. However, it could be that it wasn't so much that this story is about how great Jethro is, and the reason we have the story is to show how great Jethro is, and why was he great? He was wise, he was pious. No, maybe it's about us. As the Hasidim say, it's derech avoda. It's telling us, how should we worship God? What should we do? What's it telling us? It's telling us about Moshe and his proper character traits, which we should emulate. The Netziv says, maybe it's about honoring your father-in-law, how much you should honor not only your wife, but even her father. Rabbi David Zvi Hoffman says that it was about Moshe showing the family that, after all, you think that I sent my wife away because there's some enmity here in the family. No, there's, God forbid, there's only Ava, Shalom V'Reus, there's only great peace, great love, great friendship. I sent my wife away because it was dangerous. Now she's coming back. It's wonderful. So glad to see the entire family. Or maybe the Ralbag says that it's a model of how to honor someone, even if you yourself are so honored. You're Moshe Rabbeinu. You're the most honored of all people. You should give honor to others. Run, bow down when honor is coming to someone else because of wisdom, because of piety, because of your father-in-law. Then you know what? Lower yourself. Show how much honor one person should give for another. In fact, in the halacha, it's interesting that if one rabbi doesn't necessarily need to stand for another, or a rabbi to stand for an older person, he can just stand a little bit. He doesn't have to stand all the way. So that suggests that a person of honor doesn't have to give full honor, but there is an idea that you go beyond the call of duty and you can give full honor even if you yourself are honored. Rabbi Yosef B'Choshor says it's a reflection of Moshe's humility. Look at this. This is a man who comes, all right, he's smart, he knows a few things about administration, fine. But why are we giving him so much credit, so much focus? It's to show us the humility of Moshe Rabbeinu, which we know is so famous. Anav mikol adam, more modest than anyone on the face of the earth. The Sphard-Beth says, this is teaching an important lesson. It's hakarat hatov, showing gratitude. After all, who saved Moshe? I mean, what was he going to do? Roam around in the desert and stand around at the wells and help helpless women? How was he going to eat supper? Where was he going to find a roof over his head? It was Yitro who took him in at a difficult time. And all this story is just to show that we must show gratitude toward others. Maybe it's a good introduction to kibud avayim, to honoring parents, not only because he's a father-in-law, which is sort of a tertiary aspect of honoring parents, but also because honoring parents is all about gratitude, and this is a great story of gratitude. Rav Avraham, son of the Rambam, says it's very simple. When someone comes from far away and they make the whole trek to see you, coming from out of town, you should make a big deal. They spend $500 to get on a plane and come to your bar mitzvah. You should give them a good shalom aleichem and give them a warm handshake and a good meal, because after all, they've done something for you. You should certainly respond in kind. Some modern writers want to see that meal as a significant ritual kind of a meal. It's a meal of a covenant. That a covenant was forged between Moshe, the Jews, and Yitro's family. And that's why we find that later in Samuel 1:15-6, it says that Shaul's Vayaser Kenim mitoch Amalek, he was going to wipe out the Amalekites, but not the Canaanites. The Canaanites, the descendants of Yitro, cannot be wiped out. We have a covenant with them where they mustn't be touched. Similarly, Yael, the great heroine of the story of last week's Haftorah, that she killed the enemy general of Chatzor, Sisera, the general of Yavin of Chatzor. She's part of this battle, and she's a Canaanite. She's part of the family, or she's married to a Canaanite. Yitro's family, this covenant remained for many generations. Kasuto suggests that it's a matter of recognition. It's a matter of, wow, look at this. Somebody from the outside recognized the Jews. Malki Tzedek loved Abraham. The king of Tyre, of Phoenicia, loved David and Solomon. It's a wonderful thing when you get recognition from outside. Sometimes we have, in our own country, America shows recognition to Israel. We get very excited about that. It's something exciting, something special. Finally, the modern Orthodox Manifesto. And that is that the Tzur Hamor says, you know why he was listening to his father-in-law? Yeah, because he's his father-in-law, and because he's smart, but also, Shekibel ha'emet mimi shamro. He accepted the truth from whoever said it. All right, so he wasn't Jewish, or he converted, he didn't convert, he's going to convert. Wasn't always Jewish, not part of our family. All right, came from the outside, all of a sudden, Johnny come lately, he shows up now, the Midrash criticizes him. But you know what? If someone has good advice, you take it. Now, this is a very strange thing to say right before we get to Torah. I mean, after all, we're about to get the Torah from God, so what do we need Yitro's advice for? And some said, oh, we didn't really need his advice, he didn't really listen to his advice is not important. But the Torah more says no. This story is telling us something very important. As we get to Torah, yes, we still need to listen to good advice. Kabel Tamed, if there's truth anywhere, we need to find it, we need to listen to it, we need to do it. And that's, why do I call it a modern Orthodox Manifesto? The motto of Yeshiva University, Torah Umada, pursuing Torah and all wisdom, as the Rambam would have it, that we want to become wise people in general. And wherever that wisdom is philosophy and literature, obviously, the bulk of the wisdom to be found in the Torah. We can just enhance our lenses of looking at the Torah as we edify ourselves and educate ourselves, so that we can have an even broader perspective. We can be even more wise as we approach the Torah and we mine it for all the pearls and jewels and gems that it has within it. And Moshe led this way. He not only, as the Philo points out, must have had a very good education himself growing up in Egypt, but when people gave him advice, he listened. Because even as we receive the Torah, the source of all wisdom, everything's in it, as it says in Pirkei Avot. But there's still, if there's other wisdom and you hear it, take it, listen to it, and use it to edify yourself as a person in your aspiration to become a chacham, a wise person, just like Moshe, just like Solomon. just like the book of Mishlei would advise. Thanks for joining us here at the Anshei Sphard-Beth Emeth congregation here in Memphis, Tennessee. Join us each week for a discussion of the Parsha and how-to videos. Wish everyone a happy Tu B'Shvat as well. And thanks to Jason Lefkowitz, our producer.
This has been 10 Minutes for Torah with Rabbi Joel Finkelstein. To learn more, visit asb.org.